One topic I thought we could talk about is obviously everyone in every single show has talked to death the whole like coaching bug exploit angle, but there's actually like sort of a correlated topic, which is first of all the stream sniping issue, which came up because they didn't name and shame everyone. Like people might know from like I can't remember if it was Richard or DK who reported this, but basically I think it was a DK. I remember that when they reported it, essentially there were so many people had done the stream sniping that no joke they actually did like that conspiracy theory people like Starrick's game about Flusher cheating or whatever, like Valve just told the pros like you got your one chance now, go straight. Like dude, it was basically like that. They went to a whole bunch of these coaches apparently and just told them, we know you did it, but don't ever fucking do it again. And, let's just like not ban half the fucking top 10, right? Yanko, you were a guy who, on the coaching bug angle, was very vocal. Like, you were one of the people who basically implied that, like, you never did it. And as a result, you were, like, disgusted at some of the people who not only did it, but were trying to sort of downplay it or act like, oh, is it such a big deal? Or, you saw those people like fucking Honden and Raging. Like, mate, any of those guys pop their fucking head up for another year, I'm going to smash it back off again. I don't want to hear anything from those guys about their morals of other people, who did something wrong, what they think should be fixed. Like, you're in prison now, motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. Like, you don't get to have an opinion on that in this moment. So I know you feel strongly about it. What do you think about the whole stream sniping issue though? Because that's one where it's like, it's not quite as bad as the outright cheating, but it's clearly there's something wrong about it, and we have to find some system to mitigate it to some degree, right? Like the current system we used to have of like a 30-second or like a minute or 2 minute delay isn't enough. Like, we know that could just be like the round before. If you have, famously, the example is the tech timeout that gives you a little bit extra time so you can check what they did last round. What do you think on this topic? Like, how serious is it?
Yeah, I think still it's pretty serious. Like, cheating in any capacity obviously should be punished. But I do feel like you did. I feel like it's not as, a big of an advantage as, for example, the bug was. And for me, the fix is pretty simple, even though a lot of people will disagree with it, and it's not probably the most convenient one. Just up the delay. You put the delay up 4 minutes or 5 minutes, and the information you can get from stream sniping on some level could still be helpful, maybe, right? Like, let's say you're watching the stream and you see some reaction that your opponents made, and then if you even though it was 3 rounds ago, you didn't try a similar thing, and if you try it, it's going to be the same reaction, like something wild like that. But you already see, like, you need to notice so much and think about it so much. For me, it's as simple as, well, then I'm not focusing on the live play, right?
Yes.
And I'm hurting my team in a sense of that, I'm not helping them by maybe communicating for someone, or making a call for the next round, or just paying attention, right, like to what's going on, giving some suggestions, some ideas, something like that. So I really think that for me the fix is as simple as that. And I think I brought this up with admins, and I think with some of the tournament organizers, not all of them, that why are you not upping this delay? Because it really is ridiculous. Like, if a round lasts long enough, a person could see the beginning of the round before the bomb actually explodes, right? Like, if you plant the bomb and it goes all the way, and which I think is like completely ridiculous. And at that point, it's a huge problem. You can keep track of the money that way all the time, and so forth. So I think that was like all that needed to be done, and there would be no dramas about it. And I think it's very difficult, because you would have even a lot of players, I can guarantee you, they would, halftime comes, they turn up the stream because they want to see the last round, like if a guy, lost a clutch and he wants to see how many HP he had, sure, or wants to see the position where he thought someone was, because he thinks is in his head, this is harmless, I'm just going to check something that's already over. But if you're going through the motions of like seeing who did what, then you could probably point to that player and say, oh, he maybe cheated, right? So, like that's why I think for some of the stuff, it's like, it's way more delicate, I feel like, than just, oh yeah, this guy used this bug, and we have, black and white how he used it, and that he could gain a competitive advantage, and that's it.
What do you think, Moses?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the coach bug was its own crazy animal. Yeah, the stream sniping is another just really weird. I don't know. I think I'm most caught off guard by how many people are actually doing it. It's not like,
yes,
who is some of the thing. Like, I never thought I would have seen Hunden, but to have like 27 or 30,
yes,
like that's so many people are just cheating. I've never really understand that.
It was even the same thing with the stream sniping, by the way. When I actually spoke privately to some people who did it, by the way, their excuse was, well, everyone else does it. And I was like, you're probably fucking right in the online era. Like, if the screen's off out of camera sight for that webcam of the, I'm sure loads of people do it, sadly.
I mean, I was even hearing rumors of it going on when I was still casting. But I mean, there's not much you can do. You can like pass on again rumors, but you don't want to go in like accusing someone just because you heard someone talking about it. You know, you don't. It's hard to get anything official underway just from hearing this in like some casual conversation. But I don't know. I know. Listen. Like, it's obviously bad. I'm with Yanko. I don't necessarily think the stream sniping was like any huge game-changing, cheat especially the way that Coach Bug was. But I mean, it certainly is a massive issue, and just from the erosion of confidence and integrity in the professional scene, you can't be allowing it to happen. That's probably the bigger issue than anything. I will say, and like some positive light is, ever since this stuff has come out, and we've realized that there's just so many more scumbags than we actually thought there were in the Counter-Strike scene. I think delays, Yanko, have been increased. I think they're at like 5 minutes right now, I believe. As someone who has spoiled, I think, 2 games since my coaching career began, I'm pretty sure that delay has been up. But also, like, the crazy lengths we have to go to. Like, when I do when I played in the Global Challenge and when we play in Blast, every player has a webcam going on. I have a webcam going on at my coach computer, even though I'm not at it. I also have the Faceit anti-cheat running for, I believe, Blast, and obviously ESEA anti-cheat for the Global Challenge. For Blast, for Blast and ESEA, I have to run like a third-party program that gives them like access to like screenshots that my computer is taking. At random.
Holy shit, we're back to like Punk Buster or whatever that shit was back in the day, was it?
Dude, I know, but they've gone so old school. There's so many layers now.
Yeah, it's true.
I literally have 2 anti-cheats running, a third-party program, a webcam on the chair so they can see whenever I'm at the PC. If I'm in the game, I have to record a demo that I then upload after the match. If I'm not in the game on that PC, which I'm usually not, I'm streaming to Discord. You stream the desktop to Discord so they can watch there as well. So like, there's like 5 or 6 different ways just on the coach PC for them to see exactly what you're doing at all times right now. And I think even new measures for Blast is that we have to have, I think actually maybe both of them for Blast and ESO, we have to have like a wide angle camera on everyone that's in the room that the team is playing in
Makes
the facility. So they can see who's communicating and who's looking at what, if there's any discrepancy or anything needs to be checked. So I don't know, there's like literally 8 cameras and like 10 different anti-cheats running and demos recording.
Here's the thing, Jason, like, this is all second half of the season, right? And that was the problem for me. The biggest issue in the first half of the season, and also now you have admins on TeamSpeak, right? So for me the problem wasn't like for me the problem was always like, what if the other team is doing it? Like, I have to think in my head they could be doing it. So let's say I'm doing something, I don't know, whatever map, like on Nuke, and I'm doing something that the other team didn't see. Like, the players weren't there, but they could see it on stream, right? And you could have, it doesn't have to be your coach. It can be an analyst just, watching the stream, being on TeamSpeak with the team, or just being like next to the coach, or, being on Skype with the coach, whatever, like having a separate line just with the coach and tell them, hey, listen, they're using like these smokes, like only these smokes, like the first 3 gun rounds, right? Like,
and were you actually able to sort of assume that they must have seen it? Is that what you're kind of saying?
But that's what I'm saying, right? Like, I am always like super paranoid about this shit.
Yeah.
I'm always like thinking the worst, right? I'm never thinking best case scenario. I'm always thinking worst case scenario, right? Like,
fair enough.
I'm the opposite. I think the best of everything, so I don't think anyone's cheating.
Jason, you're still innocent. See you in 2 years, dude. Like, see you in 2 years. But yeah, even down to the stuff like money, right? Like, you want to do a buy, like you have mixed money buy where you can buy an op, right? And 2 SMGs, a pistol, and an M4, right? And you're thinking, like, let's go for it. We can surprise him with the op. Like, the guy has a good spawn. He can get an entry. And, we can still reset them back, right? It's one of those, like, reset rounds, big money rounds. But then you're like, but they could maybe see that we have the money for an op. And so, yeah, I think, like, but that was my point at the beginning as well. All these measures combined make it, like, just it's not a thing. With the camera, the TeamSpeak, and all the checking, right? So as soon as you did that, and the easiest one and the first one was just the delay and the TeamSpeak, right? After that, it's fine. Like, it's just an admin there, and he hears you saying, "Oh, I saw on stream," and that's it. Like, you're done, right? So
I think we've gotten to the point now where enough people got banned for so long with the coaching bug, and then the big warning of no stream sniping. Like, you'd have to be so stupid to do it at this point. That's not to say that people won't.
As if we don't have stupid people on the scene.
Yeah, but
So-
you really would lose so much. Like, it's really not even worth the risk for what potentially might not even be a huge return in value
Yes.
of getting caught like stream sniping and looking at a team's economy from 5 minutes previous. I just don't think it's worth it at this point.
I know, just briefly,
I
like,
didn't think it was.
just
I didn't think it was worth it 3 months ago either, but apparently that's
yeah,
not
just
the case,
briefly,
so.
because someone's probably going to mention, I don't know if you were going to talk about it, Duncan, but one of the factors for the delay and all of this stuff is also like the whole gambling thing, right?
Yes,
That
of
some
course,
people might
yeah.
have like live data from the gambling sites and all of this stuff
Yes.
and blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't know about that, but for me, it's just simply, competitive integrity comes first and then everything else. So, you need to figure that stuff out after. You can't say like, oh, we can't have a longer delay than 2 minutes because of gambling. It's like,
Yes. That was also another concern, by the way, a side angle on that was, very similar, which is that people were worried that if the delay was short enough, then the APIs that gather all that information that they have, or the like people who were just doing it manually, the idea was basically if a team was somehow like sneakily aligned with some like betting database, they could just similarly, you could have someone just feeding you the info in like a group chat or something, which is obviously, listen, I'll say there's certain countries in the world I could imagine that was probably going on in, but hopefully not in Europe. How about that? Yeah, get fucked. I'll make that distinction. Subtle enough.
I don't know where I heard that rumor from. I heard that story, and I've seen it like kind of in some Reddit comments like from a few months back of people saying that there was like some group of like maybe semi-pro players or some group of players that had access to like betting information or like a low delay stream, that they were getting fed information of a live stream so that they could appropriately throw for gambling. And I actually inquired about that with the TOs, and was they double checked everything and assured me that it wasn't even possible. But I don't know where that rumor came from, but I heard it as well for a while, and it's just I brought it up publicly once before and got immediate messages from the TOs like shooting it down. They were like, we have way too many levels of security on those, like on any stream. I think they even told me they don't even run like a no delay stream in any capacity. So I was basically just reassured that it wasn't physically possible for that to be happening.
I've actually got one other reason. I tweeted it, but I know a lot of people obviously like tweets are just ephemeral, aren't they? They just fly down your timeline. You don't remember them as well. Like people probably won't realize another effect that actually this stream delay thing had, because the first time I encountered the really high stream delay, because think about it, only events I've done this year is Flashpoint. I did the Blast Showdown in the spring. I didn't do the finals. And so I basically hadn't done an event before Flashpoint 2 in something like, I'm going to guess like 5 months or something. So when I came to Flashpoint 2, the first thing they told me from the production staff was like, oh, nobody is to tweet out anything live that's happening. And I was like, what? Like that? I said, are you being for real? Because that's literally like part of how you engage people in the cast. People want to see like if someone does a god tier 1v4, they want to see like all the oh my god simple like whatever in the chat, and then also the idea is someone who's in Twitter might be like, wow, better get in this game, like look, sounds super sick. So what it basically did was I was like, well, how long is the delay? And when they were telling me like it was like a 3 or 4 minute delay, I was like, so it's effectively just impossible to tweet and actually do the game then, because like basically, yeah, sure, I could like pull up a stream separate to the sort of live feed I have in the green room. But if I do that,
your emotion's already over.
Exactly. What am I going to do? Just sit there with my finger over the tweet button, like, and now, I go like, it's just, it loses the whole effect, doesn't it? It doesn't have the like in the moment aspects. I know that's only a minor thing to fans, but that actually did also like sap a little bit of my enjoyment of the game. I didn't feel like I could like even engage with like the people watching the game. I kind of had to pretend like I was in a black box and then come out just overly on the desk. So that's even that angle just sucks a bit. What I want to pivot, yeah, go on.
It's fine, Duncan. In your case, like for Twitter, just Potter can just nudge you when it's time to tweet.
There you go. All right. Right, here's one angle. One way I wanted to pivot this actually. Oh, by the way, Moses, I'll say one thing right now because people might not know this. In particular, I want to actually give mad props to Potter and to Freya, because I don't even know if they really... Put it this way, if Jason Mozo 2 was there, he might, as a friend, have taken these people like out like to the side and just sort of been like, have you really considered what it would be like to let Thorin write the lines that you're going to say on camera about ESL Blast? Like, listen, I know they probably just didn't think of it, Moses, because, we sort of like got them in like, it was like a fun environment, like, hey, let's just be fun and edgy or whatever. But like, yeah, I was thinking to myself afterwards, like, holy shit, wait a minute, I did essentially just get Freya to just roast all the people she's going to work with. And Potter, you work with all the DreamHacks. Like, why are you saying that? But fair play, they did it. They were soldiers. I appreciated it.